Everyone, welcome to the introduction session of Natural Language Processing Masterclass. Natural Language Processing. So starting about NLP, also called as Natural Language Processing, I just want you to pause this video and just think about what is NLP or what ideas you get when you discuss or hear this term, Natural Language Processing. So we are going to process a language. Okay, it could be our natural language, so that is NLP. So let us see some exact definitions about NLP. Natural language processing, also called as NLP, it is actually a machine learning technology that gives computers the ability to recognize, understand, and generate text and speech. So this NLP is a machine learning technology, so it integrates with machine learning, and that gives the computers the ability to recognize, understand, and generate text and speech. So organizations, whatever organizations, MNCs, companies, big players, whoever you have, all these organizations today have a large volume of voice and text data from various communication channels, like it could be their email, their text message, social media, news feeds, video, audio, and a lot more of data is available, right? So since organizations have this data, maybe if you look at any organizations, they have their, maybe if you look at an organization called as Amazon, they have a bunch of text data which is going to be the reviews for each product, right? So like this, each company have, like we have phone call recordings, we have emails, we have social media, news feeds, video, audio, and a lot more of data which is based on our human language. And they use NLP software to automatically process this data, analyze the intent or sentiment in the message, and respond in real time to human communication. Something like a bot is an example of usage of NLP. I hope you would have already used some bots which you may have interacted with it. It is not having wide range of memory. It is narrow, but still it is based on the particular task it has been given, it is going to respond. Maybe if you are having, if you just look at some government sites even now, like IRCTC, the railway booking site, even they have some bot which is help you to book trains without you manually going and doing it. It is going to guide you through it. It's like a chatting engine, right? So like this, NLP has been developed, and if you think why it is, like whether it's easy or tough, it is a bit difficult, and the reason is what text data or whatever conversations, the data we had is actually from humans, right? So the data is human language. It could be our natural language like English or any language we have, and we want the computers to understand it, and we are making it understand through the help of machine learning. So in this module, okay, in this way, fine. So human data, whether it is easy or complex, especially if you look into this, it is difficult, and the reason is, I'll tell you some examples. Human language is incredibly complex and nuanced as well, which poses significant challenges for computers trying to understand and process it. Okay, human language is incredibly complex and nuanced, which poses significant challenges for computers trying to understand and process it. Why? Because let us see some example. The language, first we are looking just into English. In English, the language is inherently ambiguous, with words and phrases often having multiple meanings depending on the context. For example, the word bank can refers to a financial institution or side of a river, right? So we used to call it as a river bank, which is the side of a river. Or there is something known as a financial institution, which is a bank where you deposit your money, you will get your money, and that process going on with monetization, right? Money and all money related things. So we have these two. Both of these things are denoted with the help of the word bank. But if you look at it closely, the context or meaning is dependent on some other factors. Okay, so the factors are something like it is, which is not related. Okay. So when you have it in a sentence, one word is related with other based on the combination of words, the context is created. It is difficult. It is easy for us humans to understand this, but it is going to be difficult for the computers to understand. And languages have complex rules governing word order, sentence structure, and grammar as well. Understanding and generating grammatically correct sentences requires deep understanding of these rules. In English, we have a grammar, right, which is the syntax or the rules or steps and regulations which is to be followed. So we have something like adjective, pronoun, noun, adverb. We have different tenses. We have a lot more rules available in grammar, right? So we somehow, if the NLP, if the software understand what we are speaking, but if it wants to reply us back, it needs to follow this contents, right? And if you like mismatch this, the meaning will also be changed. So it is difficult. Then languages are full of idiomatic expressions and colloquialism that can be challenging for non-native speakers and computers to understand, right? For example, we have idioms and phrases, and one such thing is caught red-handed. It's example. Actually, the raw meaning of caught red-handed means in idiom in English, caught red-handed means you are catching someone when they are in the act, which means something like if they are doing something wrong and you are getting them caught in between itself. Okay, so they have no way out, they have been caught. So that is caught red-handed. But if you just look at these words, caught red-handed, which means, okay, in English, there are meaning of these sentences. You catch someone with red hand, right? So someone is having red hand. Is that the meaning? No. It is an idiomatic expression to tell that he has been caught, right? So these things should be understand, or the computers will be finding it difficult, and even non-native speakers will also finding it difficult to understand. Then figurative speeches such as metaphors, similes, irony adds another layer of complexity to language understanding. For example, someone will be telling like my friend is a night owl. Night owl actually means a person who sleeps very late, who wakes up at night, does most of the work on night. Okay, so who are like not sleeping well at night, who are working more lot on night, we used to call them as night owl. But the raw meaning is my friend is a night owl. You can also, like, if you look at the raw meaning, you have a friendship with a night owl, which is an owl. But this is completely different, right? So we have figurative speeches, figurative language, and languages are constantly evolving as well, with new words, phrases, and meanings emerging over time. And this variability makes it difficult for computers to keep up to date with the latest linguistic trends as well. And communication is not just another about words, it also involves non-verbal cues such as tone of voice, facial expression, body language, which can be difficult for computers to interpret. So you can tell a sentence in a polite way, which means different. You can tell the same sentence in a bit high tone, in a rude way, which means different, right? So these things the computers needs to understand. And once again, if you have audio data of speaking or conversation, once again they may be in audio format, but there are ways you can convert it once again into text. So once you turn it into text only, you can interpret it with the help of NLP. So both audio data and text data, you can bring it under one umbrella, I hope so. And these audio may be of different tone, but when you, like, if you are converting it, you can't get the essence, right? When you have it in text, the computers can't understand in which way it is going on. Maybe with other sentences in that paragraph, you can understand whether the speaker is speaking in a mild tone or a rude tone or a normal tone. What's the sentiment in it? So what all we have seen just now is just for one language, which is English. And there are a lot more even in English, and we have more than 7,000 spoken languages in the world. And each language has its own way of expressing ideas, nuances, and cultural concepts. Even in India, we have a lot of regional languages state by state. Each of these languages have their own grammar and syntax and their set of rules, their idiomatic expressions, their own way of having it, right? So therefore, developing a language processing capability that can effectively address the complexities of each unique language is a monumental task in the field of natural language processing. But still, despite these challenges, advances in NLP and machine learning are enabling computers to better understand and process human language opening up exciting possibilities for improved human computer interaction and communication. So let us first discuss about the applications of NLP, what all we have. Then we'll look into what is happening behind NLP, exactly what happens, how NLP is helping with machine learning, what is their role, how we are making computers to understand, will be after we see about applications of NLP. Looking into the applications of NLP, one important application is search result. Whatever thing you search in search engines, you get the respective result, right? If you go into your browser and search for Royal Challengers Bengaluru, it is going to show you that particular result. Okay, RCB, what all related content which has been posted, it is giving you the result. If you type something else, if you look at Mumbai Indians, it is going to show that result. If you type something else, if you look at, like, if you are typing any name of a Hollywood actor, it is going to show that result. So all these search results are working based on NLP principle by matching by similarity. Then smart assistants. Nowadays every mobile have some smart assistants. Something like, for example, the Apple mobile has Siri, which if you call hey Siri, it is going to respond. If you ask it to call someone, it is going to call someone without you mandatorily go and keep your hands on it, right? Even with your voice commands you can use it. And in other Android mobiles we have the basic Google Assistant, and nowadays Samsung is bringing Bixby and all, which is to be a smart assistant with the help of generative AI as well. We have that part, we will be discussing what it is later. And from Amazon we have Alexa. These are some smart assistants which you can interact, right? You can give it some commands, it will do some of the tasks which is predefined for it. So these are some limited, narrow, but they are still a smart assistant based on NLP. Then language translation, whatever language translator you have from, like, most of the people would have used to Google, where you can translate from one language into the other. You can find these languages. So these are applications of NLP, from one language into other language conversion. Then email filtering. So in your mail, if you just go into your left side tab, you can find a lot of inbox, outbox, sent, draft and all. There will be a particular space for something known as spam. So spam mails are something like an unwanted mail which is danger, which can be sent by some unwanted people like a hacker or anything virus or any unnecessary content. If it is there, if it is detected, it is going to keep it safely into the spam. It won't be available for you in your inbox. And this is for safety purpose, because these spam mails may contain some spam information. They can spam you, or they can also have some links which you like a phishing link which you, if you click, they are going to take your data or something. So it's dangerous. And this email filtering, without you even opening the Gmail, is having some algorithms. This spam mail filtering is actually a project which we may also see in the future, which is very simple. Actually, with the help of NLP, we can build it. What does Gmail have is, they have an algorithm which is going to, like, automatically skims through your mails, and if any vulnerability or any spam is detected in that particular mail, it is going to direct it to the spam mail. So you can even check, you will be having some spam mails in your folder. If you get some unwanted content, any advertisement which is not relevant or unnecessary, any phishing mails, you will be having it in spam. So it is an application which provides safety as well. So NLP is used in it. That's email filtering. Then social media monitoring. Nowadays the trend and all, if you want to see what is current boom, what is the trend going on now, that's social media monitoring. You can use NLP techniques to monitor what happens daily in your particular region in social media. You can collect these as well. Then grammar correction. So what all applications we have, they have grammar correction, right? If you look at Google Docs or even Microsoft Word, Gmail, they have some particular site even for something like Grammarly. We have a lot of applications, right, which corrects the grammar. Some are pre-built. Even if you look at Google Docs or something, if you write some sentence wrongly, it is going to show you. Spelling correction is available. Grammar correction, especially if you want, you can use some site like Grammarly. They are going to, like, pinpoint you what all mistakes you have done. So what's the proper grammar and all. We may find it difficult with grammar, right? Especially So there are some grammar characters as well, which is actually application of NLP. I hope many of you guys have used. And if you don't know what happens behind, it is based on NLP actually. Then autocomplete. So this autocomplete is nowadays available in your mobile. Even WhatsApp has brought it down now. So if you start typing some word in WhatsApp, it is going to complete it. Autocomplete is available. I think that is actually from the keyboard itself. I hope so. It's Google keyboard, and Google has this autocomplete in the search engine. If you start typing something, what is natural? If you start typing that, then the remaining language processing will be available for you. That will be like in a pretty much faded. If you just press tab, it is going to fill that as well. Even in mail, if you, for example, see here, haven't seen you in a while and I hope. So when you write this, it would end in some similar way like this, right? I hope you are doing well. That's what everyone asks. So these are autocomplete, and that's actually application of NLP as well. Then chatbots, especially talking about chatbots, these are limited chatbots like the one which is available in the IRCTC website. You can have whatever sites, bigger sites you go, they have some logo in the, mostly these chatbots are available on the bottom right corner, right? So in the bottom right, you will be having some logo of it. So if you click, it is going to just pop up, show its window. You can start typing, you can interact. It is narrow. If you go out of context, it will give you the predefined responses, but still it is going to give you some results. It is going to guide you through. For example, some booking applications can have it. It's easy. So these are chatbots, and these chatbots are narrow. And nowadays, most of you guys would have used ChatGPT, or formerly called Google Bot, now called as Google Gemini. So these are generative AI integrated into NLP. These are large language models, which are, for example, they trained with in a conversational way in the ChatGPT. The dialogue format makes it possible for ChatGPT to answer follow-up questions, admitted mistakes, challenge incorrect premises, and reject inappropriate requests. So these things are one step in the next generation. Now we have generative AI, which integrates with NLP as well. So like chatbot, these are not limited. They have vast memory and they can give you some results which is generated as well, which is new results as well. We have these applications now. These are all applications of NLP, and NLP is successful. You can see they are evolving much more in whatever way we have. And especially now we are actually in the field or in the era of AI, right? In the era of generative AI. After the introduction of ChatGPT and Google Gemini, it is like, especially ChatGPT, there is a very much boom happening in the field of NLP and generative AI. A lot of applications for each domain is available now. Especially, for example, if you are a research scholar, then if you go into the internet and search for research tools for like AI tools for research, if you just search that, or research AI tools or AI research tools, you will be getting suggested with a lot of tools. And most of the thing what will have is for research, one of the mandatory or main thing is the data exploration or the literature survey, right? So people used to do literature survey, whatever research you are going to do, people used to do literature survey. And especially literature survey is if you are planning to do some research or a PhD or a project in a particular domain, in a particular research area, then what you will do is you will search for some related things which is happening around in and around it. So for that you may have to read a lot of papers, and finding these papers or which paper to find is actually a bit difficult task. Then you want to read this paper, then you want to understand, then you want to get some ideas from it. It's a bit difficult task. The main task of research is the literature survey and the idea of what you're going to do. That's the first step. And nowadays there are a lot of NLP based applications are available, which, for example, there are some research tools you can say search like site.ai or something like that, where you can search. Okay, if you search any research field, maybe if you discuss about nanoparticles for energy generation or water splitting, if you just search these, what it is going to give you is it is going to give you the top paper which was related. Not only that, Even if you download them as PDF, you can ask some questions with it. We even have a project of interacting with a PDF where you can upload a PDF, the text will be taken by our language model where you can interact. So like ChatGPT, they have one step above in each domain. They are building lot of NLP based large language model applications for each specific domain. It's a current boom and a lot of startups are going on in this field. So it is successful and it's good. So how NLP is actually achieved? Once again, the definition is natural language processing is a machine learning technology that gives computers the ability to recognize, understand and generate text and speech. So we have to understand then what is machine learning as well, right? So because then only we can understand how this NLP is going on. So what is the role of machine learning? What is the role of NLP? What is each and everyone's role and how they play it together? You can convert the masterclass into 1 month certified internship on natural language processing. So if you convert the masterclass into a certified internship, you would be getting 30 days of live and recorded sessions, 30 days of PPT for download, 10 project source codes for download, 1 month internship certificate, participation certificate, 90 days of access to courses, 4 hackathon live sessions and community group access as well. So you can avail all these benefits by registering at the link which is posted in chat box. The regular fee will be 1,999 and the discounted fee for a limited time is going to be 799. So if you guys are interested, the registration link is available in chat box. Pinned in description, you can click register and then join and get all the benefits of the internship. Not only that, you can also join for our 4-in-1 bundle course which includes NLP, this masterclass course, as well as Python programming, machine learning and artificial intelligence courses. So the regular fee for this bundle is 3,000, but the discounted fee is 1,299. The registration link is posted in chat box. It's a limited time offer. So what is the benefit I'll be getting if I join the bundle? You'd be getting 120 days of live and recorded sessions, 120 days of PPTs for download, 10 project source codes for download, 4 internship certificates, 4 separate certificates, 1 year validity to courses, hackathon live sessions, community group assignments and mock tests. You can avail all these benefits of individual internship as well as bundle. So if you guys are interested, the registration link is available in chat box. Please make use of it. So starting about what is machine learning. So machine learning is a subfield of AI. So now we are introduced to AI. Okay. So machine learning is a subfield of artificial intelligence that uses statistical techniques to enable computers to learn from past data and make decisions without being explicitly programmed. So we'll split this up now. So machine learning is a subfield of AI. Okay. So for achieving AI, machine or the computers needs to learn. So that's where machine learning is helping. Fine. So how machine learns is, machine is going to learn or a computer is learning based on some statistical techniques and which enables the computers to learn from past data. So your raw material is your past data or the data you have. So whatever application you do, you need to have a set of past data. The data set is important and these data are given to your computer where the machine learning algorithm is going to use some statistical techniques to learn it. Okay. And once they have learned, what they can do is they can make decisions without being explicitly programmed. So what does this explicit programmed means? Especially explicit program is, if you are a developer, if you are writing code, maybe what all programming languages do you know? We have C++, we have Java, we have Python and a lot more, right? So with all these things, do you know what's the necessity of it? So all these languages are created for making to understand what we are trying to tell to the computer. So we are making these programming language and we are writing our code to make the computers to understand what we are trying to speak, right? Especially if you write a code or if you build an application of a login page, you are building a web application using Python Django, you are building a login page. So what will you have? You will have you will be writing a HTML, CSS for the visual purpose, and then in the backend in Django you may have a login form, a registration link, and in each page you will be having a box. Once the user entered it in the login, if they are pressing login, you want to check the username and password whether it's available in your database. then you want to check whether it is same as you have, whether the credentials are correct, and if they are correct, you are going to allow them into your application. So this is explicit programming. You will be writing the exact step by step. This is what will happen. You are writing the code. That is programming languages, which is explicit programming, which tells each computers can't understand our language or the programming language. Whatever code you type, it is going to converted into ones and zeros by the compiler, and ones and zeros are nothing but the understandable format of computer, right? Computer can understand zeros and ones, and that is what directly it's a machine language which is going to directly entered into the hardware, and the result will be obtained and it is given back in the console. And we use programming language for making the computers to understand what the requirement of our requirement, and that is explicit programming. Then what is without being explicit program is you want the computer to understand without explicit steps. So in such case, we want to make the computers to understand our human language. So that is without being explicit programmed. Here you are not going to tell this is what the exact step is. You want it to make decision or do the steps on your own. Okay, it's something like if you are making some dish, you are going to give, for example, in explicit programming, you have a chef and you are going to give the exact steps. So you have to first take this, you have to add this much ingredient, you have to do this, you give the exact steps to your chef and he will be doing it and bringing it to you. That is explicit programming. And non-explicit programming, like in machine learning, what you are going to do is you're going to take a chef who is a well-trained chef. Okay, he has already learned using statistical techniques on the past data. So you take that chef, you ask him, and you are going to tell that I need this dish. Okay, so it's up to the chef now to decide what steps he has to go, and he will be remembering his past knowledge on what he has learned, and he is going to do the dish and bring it to you. That is the difference between the explicit programming and non-explicit programming. And especially here we use machine learning so that the machine can decide on its own from the past learning and without being explicitly programmed. So the machine learning process actually begins with the raw material, which is the data here, which is our raw material, which is going to used such as examples, direct experience or instruction. It looks into the patterns of the data using statistics. It can later make inference based on the example provided. And the primary aim of machine learning is to allow computers to autonomously learn without human intervention or assistance and adjust action accordingly. So this is what exactly happens in machine learning. You have your data, you are going to analyze and pre-process it, and then we are going to give it to the machine learning algorithm, which is a statistical tool which is going to perform statistics to find the patterns so that later on it can provide you the decisions without being explicitly programmed. So the problem with machine learning is it is actually the basic thing. Since it can work only in statistics, it requires all the data to be in number format. It needs everything in numbers. Okay, so mostly your data for machine learning will be a tabular data set which contains of multiple rows and columns. With that we are trying to find some pattern, and some tabular data may look like this. This is a used car data set. We have a lot of features of the car and we have some numbers as well, and we are going to make the model to predict the price of the car, selling price. But here if you look at, we still have some text here, right? Petrol, dealer. Actually these are discrete values which are categorical. Okay, you can denote petrol as 0, diesel as 1, and wherever you have petrol you can make it 0, and wherever you have diesel you can make it 1. Similarly here in seller type, if it is dealer, or in transmission if it is manual or automatic, you can give 0 or 1. So this is not a problem. This is discrete data. You can encode it into numbers, especially when your NLP data will look something like this. This is the mail, spam or ham data set, and here the target tells whether it's a spam or not a spam. 1 means it is a spam mail. This is the context or the text of the mail. So you can read, it is a human language which is in the mail. What all things, it's actually human text conversation, right? And we have to map, this is the past data which tells whether it's a spam or not. But if you want to process this data, you need it in numbers. Okay, so a meaningful way of converting this into numbers, it is called as natural language processing, and that's what we will do. And especially before completing machine learning, so machine learning actually has two types. One is unsupervised learning, which performs something known as clustering, and another one is supervised learning, which performs what we used to do is in unsupervised learning, we group them. Okay, that's the entire idea. We just group or cluster them into categories. But if you look at supervised learning, what they do is they develop predictive model based on both input and output data. So here you are telling that some of the options for your output. This is your output. This is what you are going to decide. So learn it and then map it. That's what we ask, like spam or ham. And we have two things in supervised. One is classification, another one is regression. So in supervised learning, this is what exactly we do. We have, for example, a bunch of data and we have a labels for it. And we are going to ask the algorithm to map. Maybe if this is the shape, you have to call it as circle. If these are features, it is square. If these are the features, it is triangle. After learning without not explicitly being programmed, if you give a new shape, it is going to tell it is a circle or a square or a rectangle. It predicts it as circle. That is supervised learning. And it has two types. One is regression, another one is classification. So if you classify between this or that, yes or no, cold or hot, circle or square or triangle between classes, then it is called as classification. And if your output you are going to predict is a continuous value like the car price, the temperature, the mark of a student, the rainfall in millimeters. So all these things you can make prediction. It is a continuous value and it is called as regression. And then unsupervised learning, what we used to do is we are going to group them or find patterns so that it can be used in a lot of marketing kind of things and all to group the customers. So this is a machine learning tabular data, and you can perform with this machine learning. But when you have text data like this, we have to use or leverage the NLP techniques to process these text. And the NLP's task here is you have a language data, right? Human text data. You will be using NLP techniques to convert it into a meaningful numerical representation. Okay. Imagine here you have done 0 or 1 because it's discrete. Here you can't do. Finally we are turning them into binary 0 or 1. But in a more meaningful way for each word to tell the context of it, right? We know that if you have a word known as king, and if you have a word known as beggar, and if you have another word known as queen, so we know that the word king and queen are related, and the beggar has no relation with these two, right? So the word, the meaning, or if you have king, queen, beggar, student, okay? So student or beggar or king or queen, they don't have any relation with the word student. Or if you have something known as aeroplane and if you have something known as train, they have some common because they are transportation ways, right? So these meanings should be converted into numbers in some better way. So that is the task of NLP techniques, which we will learn later when we discuss about NLP. And the language data, whatever we have, okay, now using NLP techniques, whatever language you have to find a way in each language so that you can convert it into numbers. Then you can analyze and process it and you can give it to your machine learning algorithm. And machine learning algorithm is once again a statistical tool. It can work up to some extent because this data, whatever you are converting now, is a bunch of data which is human language, and these pretty much basic machine learning statistical techniques may find it difficult, and that's where deep learning comes into play. So what is deep learning is? It is an advanced version of machine learning. It's a subset of machine learning. It's advanced version which does the same. So instead of here the same process, instead of statistical algorithm, here we use something known as multi-layered neural network called deep learning neural network, and they are used to stimulate or simulate the complex decision making power of human brain. There are some form of deep learning powers which powers most of the AI nowadays in our lives today. Especially if you look at Tesla auto driving cars, which don't have drivers, which can drive automatically or actually built with the help of deep learning neural network to decide. ChatGPT is built based on deep learning neural network. These neural networks are created to mimic our human brain activity. and they will decide based on it. They do the same, but instead here of algorithm we have deep learning neural network. And what these neural network are, they are built up of a bunch of neurons, and these neurons are nothing but mathematical bodies. Okay, so each neuron will perform some max. That's what exactly happens. We will be discussing about what exactly how this process goes on later on. And here the neural network can analyze and process, and they can make prediction, they can find pattern pretty much advanced way compared with our machine learning techniques. And when you look at the data here, you can go with the tabular data, you can go with text data into numbers, and then you can go it, or if you have image can also be converted into numbers, and image data can only be handled with neural network, not with our machine learning techniques. So these are pretty much advanced way. So finally, since we have touched deep learning and machine learning, what is AI? Or artificial intelligence is a technology that enables computers and machines to simulate human intelligence and problem solving capabilities. So if you are making a computer to think like human, act like human, respond like a human, make decisions, creativity with the help of generative, that is our artificial intelligence. And this is what their role are. Artificial intelligence, if you want to achieve, then you want your computer to learn the data, so that we can do with machine learning and deep learning. And if you want your AI to interact with you or understand what you speak, then you need NLP so that it can understand our natural language. And if you integrate computer vision as well, it can handle image data. Computer vision is a field like NLP. Computer vision is for image based AI applications. And this is the role of NLP actually. It helps to achieve AI, but it actually has its own rules, as well as it helps. It takes help of machine learning and deep learning to achieve the ultimate AI. So this is the hierarchy or the entire thing. Now we will see what is the roadmap to achieve or to be well versed in this NLP. So you have to be good with Python, the basic Python. You don't need that much extent of Python like the DSA skills and all, it's not required, but you need to know the basic Python till at least till functions, which is a must for this. So after learning Python, you can start machine learning content. So you can learn about machine learning, what is the process, how to build algorithm, how to evaluate or how to improve it, all the machine learning stuffs. Once machine learning is completed, you will be familiar with handling tabular data for machine learning. Now you can integrate text data. So the text data, if you want to integrate, you need to know the NLP basics, the text pre-processing techniques. And in text pre-processing, we have some basic as well as advanced versions like embeddings, where you convert them into numbers, meaningful vectors, word to vectors. Once you turn them into vectors, you can use it in the machine learning models, or you can also learn deep learning now. So once you keep your hands on deep learning, there are some good deep learning architectures like RNN, LSTM, Bidirectional LSTM, and then you can learn about sequence-to-sequence models, and you can learn about transformer models, which is the backbone of GPTs. So the full form of GPT is generative pre-trained transformers, and here the name is transformers is come from there. So it's an architecture. It is based on deep learning neural network. It is a complex encoder-decoder architecture. And then we have our LLM applications, like you can use the APIs from GPT or Gemini AI and build your own application. A lot of startups are going on nowadays. With the help of that, you will be fine tuning it in your own data for a respective task. You can do that. So starting before going into machine learning, we need to start about the data collection part. So what does data collection is? It is the process of gathering and measuring information on variables of interest in an established systematic fashion that enables one to answer stated research question, a text or test hypothesis, evaluate outcomes, and the data collection part of research is common to all fields of study. So there are some data creation ways, especially if you want to create some data. You can use something like devices, right? Nowadays, every devices you have your Fitband or some smartwatches which monitor your heart rate or any data, how many calories you burn. All these data from devices, IoT devices, any machines is going to give you constant data. You can collect it. So that is a data. And web scraping is a technique where you can use some tools like Selenium or Beautiful Soup from Python. So you can skim over the internet, you can collect some of the data which is available, and a lot of text data can be scraped through web scraping techniques, and then you can collect it from social media, especially if you are building a review classifier, or if you are finding a spam mail or ham mail classifier, you need a bunch of data, you can collect it from the social media. And you can create surveys as well. You can just create a Google form, circulate to what all people you know, you can get or collect it in that way your own data. These are creation methods. And especially if you are hired by someone and you are tasked with finding some data, like some company is going to give you their data, they are stakeholder, they can give you their database which they have collected till now based on their company's report or something. So these are some data creation or collection method. And especially we can also rely on some of the open sources for data. So the data is collected by a lot of organization and they are posted open source for free or for paid, and a lot of free data are available now. So there are some sites called as Kaggle, UCI machine learning repository, Google dataset search, and a lot more sites. One of the predominant is Kaggle and Google dataset search. First site we are going to see is Kaggle. So if you go and search for Kaggle, it has a site. Kaggle is something like a machine learning repository with a lot of competitions going on, data sets available. You can create your notebook and train your models here. Maybe if you look at the data set, you can search for a data set like spam mail. So you will be suggested with a lot of data sets here. So you can open it, you can download it, you can read about what it is, you can get some code as well. So this is Kaggle, where you just need to have an account. You have to create an account with your mail, or you can, and then you can use it to collect data. You can join the competitions, you can collect models from here, you can have discussions. It is a community. Okay. And then we also have Google dataset search, which is a search engine, or you can also look at UCI machine learning repository. There are sites, and this is a search engine. Like your Google search, this is a search engine for datasets. If you want, you can make a search on spam mail data. So you will be suggested with different links. Okay. So even it suggests Kaggle, it's a site where you can find this data. It's a search engine, so it is going to redirect you to where all places you have it. So this is from Hugging Face, and they will give you a respective where you will be getting it. Especially if you look at here, you can also collect some like tweet data. So you see here sentiment 140 data set with 1.6 milliards tweet. So you can collect it from different sources, and that's what our Google dataset search will help us to do. So since we are now familiar with collecting the data, we'll see about the next content on processing the data, and moving towards the next content in the next session. You can convert the masterclass into 1 month certified internship on natural language processing. So if you convert the masterclass into a certified internship, you would be getting 30 days of live and recorded sessions, 30 days of PPT for download, 10 project source codes for download, 1 month internship certificate, participation certificate, 90 days of access to courses, 4 hackathon live sessions and community group access as well. So you can avail all these benefits by registering at the link which is posted in chat box. The regular fee will be 1,999 and the discounted fee for a limited time is going to be 799. So if you guys are interested, the registration link is available in chat box, pinned in description. You can click register and then join and get all the benefits of the internship. Not only that, you can also join for our 4-in-1 bundle course, which includes NLP, this masterclass course, as well as Python programming, machine learning and artificial intelligence courses. So the regular fee for this bundle is 3,000, but the discounted fee is 1,299. The registration link is posted in chat box. It's a limited time offer. So what is the benefit I'll be getting if I join the bundle? You'd be getting 120 days of live and recorded sessions, 120 days of PPTs for download, 10 project source codes for download, 4 internship certificates, 4 separate certificates, 1 year validity to courses, hackathon live sessions, community group assignments and mock tests. You can avail all these benefits of individual internship as well as bundle. So if you guys are interested, the registration link is available in chat box. Please make use of it. So that's it.